Welcome back to the Heads Together podcast. Thanks for joining me again this week. This is turning into a bit of a habit. I love it. Okay, so this week I want to talk about how we can make sure that our clients get the results they want. Now, whether you are a coach or a consultant or any other kind of service provider, it's so important that when someone invests in you, that they get the result that they want, that they need, and that they're expecting. And that those three things also need to be aligned, right? In this episode, I just want to go over a few things that are so important to think about when it comes to making sure they do get those results that they want. Welcome to the Heads Together podcast. I'm Jill Mokes and I am obsessed with cutting through the noise when it comes to growing your business. Each week, via intimate coaching conversations and inspirational stories, I share what it really takes to get the results you want in a way that feels right to you. I am all about attracting higher ticket opportunities, building authentic relationships, and creating the abundant, full-fat version of your dream business. I mean, how many of us have beavered away creating a light version of what we really want? The thing is, I honestly believe when you're outstanding at what you do, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So, are you ready to put our heads together and make it happen? Let's go. So first of all, I want you to think about how clear you make sure a client is before they buy from you on what your offer is. So they need to be crystal clear on what the expected outcome should be of working with you, right? There can be no misalignment between what they're expecting the outcome to be and what you actually deliver to them. What I mean by that is that sometimes what happens is that due to a lack of specificity, I had to practice saying that one a couple of times, due to a lack of specificity in your copy, when it comes to selling your offer perhaps, or a lack of clarity when you're talking about the service that you provide. Maybe it's on the discovery call with you that you just haven't clearly got across to that client exactly what they are purchasing from you. And there's a misalignment between what they're expecting and what your offer actually is, the results the offer actually is capable of delivering. Yeah? So what we often see is that people buy for one reason, but it's not the reason that the business owner intended. So that's really important, that there is complete clarity in your copy, your messaging, your conversations. Any kind of promotional material, any kind of content that you're putting out about your offer needs to be really clear on the outcome that someone can expect by investing in it. Okay? And I think as well as that, I think you need to be very clear on what the client's role is in getting the outcome they want. Because that can be another disconnect between someone signing up, expecting one thing, and then finding after they've invested that they have to play a much more active role than they were expecting to if they want to get the results that you've promised them. Unless you provide a completely done-for-you service, which I know some of you might do, but and a lot of you don't. A lot of you are service providers, where clients are paying to you for coaching or consulting, strategic work, that kind of thing. And if that's the case, they need to understand that they have a role to play in getting the results they want. This is not something, their outcome, their business growth, their increased productivity, whatever your offer promises to deliver cannot be done with them completely hands off. They need to invest time and energy and effort and action into getting the results they want. And I think sometimes a mistake that a lot of people make is, and I don't think it's intentional, don't get me wrong, it's not intentional, but I think sometimes we misrepresent the client's role in getting the results. And I think it's tempting to do that to get the sale. So in other words, what we do is we try and represent our offer as being this no-brainer that's going to take virtually no effort from them to get the result they want, or that they can really sit back and enjoy the transformed business that they're going to have at the end of going through this. And there's that danger that you are misrepresenting the level of commitment that they need to have in making it happen. So my advice to you is to be very transparent about that. Don't misrepresent it. Be very clear, very specific around that. And actually be really specific and transparent about your role too. So, I'm not saying for one moment that we suddenly put all of the responsibility for the result onto the client. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm saying that usually, particularly in a coaching environment, consulting environment, there is definitely a partnership between you and the client. And you both have a role to play in them getting the results they want. So be transparent about your role too. Be very open about how you're going to support them and the resources you're going to give them to get the result they want. All of the expertise that you have that you're going to impart to them, but don't underplay what their role is and what their commitment level needs to be. Okay? The second thing I want to touch on is, and this follows on from a previous episode actually, around the feelings that you bring out in a client when they buy from you. Those feelings that you need to elicit in a client so that they trust you, so that they're excited to work with you, etc. Sometimes what happens is that those feelings that you generated in that prospect on the discovery call with them, those feelings wear off. Life gets in the way, right? Suddenly all that hope that they were feeling that they found the person that's going to be able to actually get them the result they want. Suddenly that hope gets replaced with worry. They've signed up, they've started, but now they're really worried and they're feeling overwhelmed, and the excitement they had has turned to stress. Here's where you have a role to play in keeping them going if you want them to get the results that they're capable of getting and the results that they want, right? You need to keep them going. You need to take some responsibility for reminding them about why they invested with you. Remind them about those feelings that they had and keep those true. Keep them valid, right? Tie the reason for what you're asking of them. So in other words, when they're going through your program or when you're working one-to-one with them, go through and tie back everything that you ask them to do as part of their contribution into getting the result they want. Tie that back to those pain points and those desires that you really laser focused in on when you were talking to them originally. Okay? With higher ticket clients, I really expect you to know individually what each client's pain points are, what each client's desires are. Your clients deserve that from you. Even if it's a group program that you're delivering, you have a role to play in reminding them of their individual pain points, their desires, the things they wanted to achieve, so that you can keep those feelings of hope and excitement and relief that they found you. Keep all of those feelings alive, because if you do that, they are going to find it a damn sight easier to come up with that energy to keep going. They're going to get the momentum rolling. They're going to take action, and that's what's going to get them the results. So keep those feelings topped up with them. And be aware of it. Be aware that that is what can happen. Those feelings can wear off. So have that on your radar when you're working with your clients, and just keep an eye out for that so that you can address it really quickly. Okay? The next thing I want you to be, oh my goodness, I kind of wish I'd started with this one. This is non-negotiable. If you want to make sure that your clients get the results that your offer promises, then you need to make sure you're enrolling the right clients. Okay? If you don't, you run the risk of that client not getting the results that your offer promises, because the offer isn't right for them. The program isn't right for them. The service isn't right for them. It's not meeting their needs. Okay? If you don't do your job properly on the breakthrough call, on the discovery call, or whatever you like to call it, and if you didn't do a thorough enough job to confirm, validate that this is a perfect client for you, or even worse, maybe you did realize that it wasn't a perfect client for you, but you went into that scarcity mindset and enrolled them anyway. You know, that mindset that says to you, well, I don't know where the next client's coming from, so I'm just going to have to enroll them anyway and try my best to help them get the result they want. Okay? That is going to come back and bite you on the butt every single time. Don't enroll someone unless you know without any shadow of a doubt that your offer is the right offer for them. Do not enroll someone unless you know it's a client you can help. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. So my group program, which I'll talk to you about on another episode. I kind of don't want to talk that much about it today because I don't want to dilute this message. But my group program, which is called Serve to Sell, to be accepted onto that program, you must have or be intending to create an offer priced at $2,500 or above. Okay? That's a non-negotiable. If you don't have any intention of creating a higher ticket offer, $2,500 or above, then you don't fall into the category of an ideal client for that program. And if I enrolled you into the program anyway, I'm running the risk of you not getting the results you wanted, because the strategy that I teach in Serve to Sell is for higher ticket offers. The point I'm making is that that strategy wouldn't be right for you. And I would have done you a massive disservice. Number one, I would have taken your money for something that's not right for you. And even worse, you're just not going to get the results because it's the wrong strategy for you, potentially. The point I'm really making here is that it's your responsibility to make sure from the outset that the client's a good fit for the service that you offer, because then you're giving them the best chance possible to get the results that you are promising to deliver. Okay. And lastly, I just want to touch on one other thing, which is equally as important. If you want to make sure that your clients get what they want and need, you have to have the resources to deliver the solution. Okay. Now, just going back to, again, another episode, I'll link to the previous episode about undercharging in the show notes, but thinking back to that, this often comes from undercharging. What happens is you take on too many clients, you're stretched too thin, and you can't deliver on the promise of your higher ticket offer. You just can't do it. Or maybe the way you're trying to fulfill on your promise might be wrong. Maybe your systems are wrong, right? Maybe you just don't have that infrastructure in place. Whatever it is, you need to make sure your resources are absolutely set up to deliver your service. Okay. And when I say resources, I mean either your capacity, your bandwidth, your time, your energy, and also the more obvious, like resources in the business, your systems, make sure that you have everything set up that's going to enable you to deliver on your promises. All right. So there's a few things there that we've gone over that I really want you to think about when it comes to making sure clients are getting what they want. Because here's the thing, when clients do get the results they want, they are happy clients. And that makes your life a billion, zillion, trillion times easier. Because happy clients, they're the ones who write the glowing testimonials. Happy clients are the ones who refer you to other perfect prospects for your service. And they do that because they understand your process. They appreciate your transparency, right? They can talk about you to other prospects because they've completely understood the journey they've been on from where they were before they started with you and where they are now, having got the result they wanted. So that's an amazing source of business. Referrals, you've heard me say this before, but referrals are the best kind of business, right? And also don't forget, happy clients buy from you again. They take the next step with you. If you have a business model with more than one kind of offer, more than one way of working with you, and you know me, I like a simple business model, but most of us have more than one revenue stream, right? Happy clients will come back. They'll buy again. They'll take another step to work with you. Maybe a higher ticket offer, whatever that looks like in your business. It's so important. I cannot overstate how important it is to not think your job's done when you enroll a client. That's when your work really starts, because the real work is getting the client the results they want and ending with a happy client. Okay. I hope that's been helpful. Food for thought, huh? As usual, in the show notes, I will pop links to anything that we've talked about, previous episodes, etc. If you would like to book a call with me, the link is in there, of course, and you are very welcome to do that. You just need to complete an application, and then if that is successful, you get a link to book a full coaching session with me with no obligation. I will see you again next week. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that getting our heads together this week has filled your mind with what's possible. If you love the show, would you do me a massive favour, please? Would you leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts? It would really help me put more heads together, reach more ears and expand more minds. Until next week, bye for now.